Welcome everyone, and welcome to my very old YouTube channel. I've had this channel for several years and it was dedicated to obviously showcase my kind of work and my friends kind of cars and what they've done about that. But obviously, as you may be aware, stuff that might actually happen to you as well, which is life. Life just gets in the way, and we've never actually just lifted off in terms of what we wanted to achieve. So in this case, we're going to be restarting it. Well, not we, I am going to be restarting it. So I'm going to be trying to dedicate this channel onto my particular car, which in this case is a Seat Leon FR. It is a 2013/14 model, so it is the MQB platform, one of the later Volkswagen Audi chassis design, which is still still in play, which they're still using technically for all the newer cars. So I want to be showing you what I've actually done so far to the car, which to me is kind of neat, to be honest. If you guys are familiar with obviously the VCDS, them coding programs and stuff like that, only certified technicians are able to actually mess about with your car, essentially, because you don't really want to brick it. So in this case, I've actually purchased a OBD11. It's a little app that you download on your phone, which is an Android or and I believe iOS nowadays as well. I've got it set on my very old Android Samsung S5, and it still works. Purchased it, I think it's around about £78, £79, around about £70 to £80. And you can do quite a lot. You can actually do a lot more to certain cars than other cars. So in this case, on the Seat platform, there's a hell of a lot of things that you can actually customize. I will be diving into each and every single setting that I have actually changed, because trust me, there is a hell of a lot. The only thing that I haven't, that the app can't actually do is remap and stuff like that. So all these lights, what else, different types of unlock feature that you might not have actually unlocked. So without further ado, let's begin. Now in this case, like I've mentioned, I've got my Seat Leon FR, and the reason why we're sitting inside the car is because I want to be showing you stuff that I've actually changed on the interior side of it. So let's start with the instrument cluster. So in this case, I have unlocked a feature where you can actually, the instrument cluster is always lit, whether the headlights are on or off, it's always lit. I will be trying to everything that I will be talking about, I will be trying my best to actually direct you guys with some sort of a link as to where I've actually sourced the information and how to do it. So I will, everything that I'm going to be talking about, I will send you guys some sort of a link, whether in the comments or link description, or even on the screen. You might actually see it popping up somewhere. But yeah, as I've mentioned, instrument cluster. So for those of you who have actually got a similar car, whether it's a Golf, Skoda, Audi and Seat, the instrument cluster is always off until you have the lights on. So in this case, the instrument cluster, the white dials, that is always off. The central infotainment thing in the middle, that's on, but the dials itself are off. But the only thing that is switched on is obviously is the middle bit and the little red needles, which kind of look cool in a way, but it is very impractical. The reason being is because it does get quite dark quite quickly. So because the instrument cluster is kind of reset further back, it does actually, do you know what I mean? It just gets super dark, and because obviously the dials itself isn't exactly white or any kind of bright kind of colors to begin with, so it does get dark as soon as you go drive through a tunnel or some sort. It's not really a big deal if you've got the automatic setting, headlight control set to auto, but I rarely have it on, simply because it does get a bit temperamental and start turning on whenever I don't want it to be. And there's also another reason why I tend to keep that switched off. You're gonna have to check that out towards the end of the day, because there is a really cool feature. What else have I done? Oh, okay. I have also managed to unlock the feature where you don't actually get that on this car, which is a lap timer, which is really good, because obviously not only does it actually just start the clock and stop the clock, but you can actually set different times of laps. So if you do consecutive laps, etc., that kind of stuff, then yeah, that feature is kind of useful, to be honest. Another reason why you might actually like to have this set in your car is if you like to do, 0 to 60, that kind of thing. If you've actually done something to your car, you want to see if it actually has done anything to the car, then obviously you can actually check. It's an easier way to actually go by getting a very expensive GPS type of monitor. Moving on. What else have I done? Oh, yeah. So in this case, my car's already fitted with a Park Pilot, where you can actually see the direction of your wheels, where you're facing, etc., that kind of stuff. And mine has got rear and front parking sensor. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about setting. So if you go into car and you go into setup, there's quite a lot of features that I didn't actually know you can actually unlock. So let's start with lights. I'm not too sure of the motorway lights, because there's a hell of a lot of things that I've unlocked. Automatic headlight control in the rain, I'm not too sure if that was there. Daytime running lights, if you want to turn that off on, if the lights just bothers you or bothers other people, kind of stuff, you could turn that off. Or if you want to sneak in, making sure no one sees you at home, you just roll up with your lights off and the daytime running lights don't actually switch on. That's a cool feature. Lane change flash, so essentially if you just flick this indicator, it blinks 3 times. I think that's the one. Yeah, there you go, see? So it doesn't actually do it. So one of them older kind of cars, you have to hold it if you want to drive on a motorway and stuff like that, you don't want to constantly hold it and decouple that. So that's a nice feature where you can click on that and you tap it once and it does it 3 times. You can actually set that to 5 times as well if you want, but I've set it to 3 times. Instrument cluster lights, that was there. Coming home and leaving home, I'm not too sure if that was there, but obviously you can set the time, how long you want the lights to stay on. I'll just leave it like that. What else? Mirrors and wipers. Oh yeah, so lower your mirrors, the opposite side. So that lowers as soon as you actually put this in reverse, but you have to set the light, the mirrors, you have to set it to the left hand side. If you leave it to the left hand side, so what it does, matter of fact, let me just show you. So if I set this, that's turned off completely. I'll just reset. There you go. So if I've set this to the left hand side, watch the mirrors. So I'm going to be putting my car into neutral, into reverse, and watch the mirrors. Watch what it does. Can you see how it actually moves down? So that's again, that's a really nice feature if you're the kind of person that have got expensive wheels, or you don't want to damage your wheels, etc., that kind of stuff, and you park around curbs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You don't want to you don't want to have curb rash all over your wheels, especially if you've got dark coloured wheels or polished kind of wheels. But yeah, that's the infotainment system. You can actually do more. You can actually unlock a feature where you can actually watch DVDs, you can watch movies whilst you're driving, stuff like that. I don't bother with that because most of the time when I'm driving, I'm too concentrated with driving. I wouldn't advise you to actually do that whilst you're driving, especially because it is dangerous. You might as well just be on your phone as well, because it's just as bad. Now, I have actually done something to the interior ambient lighting. This car is fitted factory with lighting. There's only two colours. In this case, there's white or bluish white and red. Now, you can only change the light to red if you've got your setting, your car profile setting to sport mode. Then it changes to red. It's kind of a nice little trick to make it look like you're actually, doing some shenanigans and stuff like that. But you know what I mean. But I hated it simply because I don't want to be driving in sports mode consistently, because the steering wheel becomes super heavy. The throttle map on that becomes super twitchy. So as soon as you tap it a little bit, it acts like you're putting your foot down all the way. It's not really, a nice way of actually driving. So I've actually customized it in a way where the light is constantly red and what was it? Yes, the brightness of it. So the brightness of these ambient lighting is ridiculously low, so you can barely see it. You can actually barely see it now because it's kind of protrude in. So it's not like you can actually see the LED. So I've put that brightness to 100% where you can actually kind of see it really nicely in the dark, and it complements the dash quite well. And you've got a little bit ambient lighting shining down here. Excuse the car, it is kind of dirty. I haven't washed it in ages, but yeah, I've set that to red. So no matter what kind of profile you've set this on, it will always be red. You can change this to white if you want, but you can't change it to any other colors. It isn't a fully RGB. It's only got two settings, red or white. The newer cars do have a full RGB kind of setup, but obviously with that you can actually customize it. I'm not too sure if it's still customized with the map on the car profile kind of thing, but yeah, so that's that. What else have I done? I've changed the Footwell lighting. I'm not too sure if the Footwell lighting was on consistently, but obviously I've changed that to LED, and I've changed the brightness to that to 100%. Again, you can actually go in here and manually change the setting. Once you've set everything to 100%, you can actually change the door backlighting. You can change that on and off. You can change the Footwell lighting on and off. I tend to leave it off because obviously my missus kind of hates it because it's kind of too bright. But yeah, that's that. So moving on, what else have I done? Oh yeah, I've also setted the auto profile. So for those of you that may be aware, once you click on auto, you can't actually check the fan speed on it. But in this case, once I've set it to auto now, you can actually see the fan speed. So in case you do want to check up and see if the air is blowing way too hard in your face and stuff like that, you can set that to that. So there you go. What else have I done? Oh yeah, when I've unlocked the feature where the instrument cluster is always set on, for some reason everything else is set on as well. So the doorwell light is on, these little buttons are always lit up, the footwell light is always lit up, whether it's on, the lights are on or off, it's always lit up, which is a really nice feature, because not only can you see your dash when you're driving kind of in the dark in the tunnel, etc., or do you know what I mean? Like, it's a really nice feature. Every car should have this feature from factory. I know a lot of people might actually say, no, that's not really good, because you might actually, if you've forgotten your lights, you might actually think that the lights are on because your dash is illuminated, but hey ho, I know my car. Do you know what I mean? But what is the next thing that I've done to this car? Oh, flipping freezing out there though. Right, it is way too cold out here, so I will be doing this quite quickly. So as you can see right now, daytime running lights at the back is also on, and as you may be aware, I haven't actually turned on my lights. So the daytime running lights on a normal FR or anyone with the rear LED lights, daytime running lights at the front will always be on, however at the back they will not be on. This is a weird feature where I just don't understand why they've done that, but in this case I have customized it and set the light to always on. I think it's called Scandinavian lights, something like that, Scandinavian lights, something like that. Well, where the daytime running lights at the front are on, but the rear lights are always on as well, which I absolutely love, because these lights look amazing. What else have I done? Oh, I've setted the rear view wipers. I'm not too sure on other models, but if you put my car in reverse and you move reverse, it doesn't matter if it's raining or not, the rear view wipers wipe once. In this case, obviously that's a nice feature if you've had rain or anything kind of blocking your view. But as you can see, my tints are super dark, simply because I've got parking distance control. So I've got parking sensors on that. Oh, here's the juicy bit. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're looking at something very, very aggressive. So in this case, excuse the bodywork. Again, this is a car that actually needs some sort of loving. So bodywork is not in a good shape. But yeah, here we go. Look at that. So for those of you who are not aware, these type of lights resembles you know, the US type of models where you've got the lights and you've got the indicator light as well running as simultaneously with daytime running lights. So it looks kind of cool. On certain cars it does look a bit weird. You do get these a lot on BMWs, especially in America, but I can't actually like the look of it. It just looks like you've got like an evil eye going on. It does look very, very aggressive. But yeah, that's a car. I am shaking right now because it is like minus 100 degrees. But yeah, let's just walk a quick lap around the car. Like I've mentioned, this is my daily, it is my family car, you know, so I don't want to do something crazy to it, but this is what I've done on my own, just with the apps. So obviously take what you want. Some of these features are kind of neat, some of these features are a bit crap to use, so obviously you take what you like about it. But yeah, this is my car and I will be customizing other things with it. So in this case, it is a 1.4 TSI model, so it isn't exactly the fastest car. It's not essentially a hot hatch. I know that quite a lot of people might actually complain the FL badge should be conserved, should be reserved for like a GTI kind of thing, like at least 200 brake horsepower, but they've, you know, downgraded it a bit in terms of, you know, the economy and stuff like that. So it is a 1.4 TSI. It is 138 brake horsepower. It is nippy, super light to be honest for what it is. It does have some sort of get up and go. However, you know, it can do more. So it is a weird engine configuration where it doesn't actually have a conventional intercooler. It's just got a water cooler for some reason, so you can not actually do, you know, the usual tuning where you can get bigger intercoolers, bigger turbos and stuff like that. This actually does need some sort of you know, a real attention to detail, because you can't just slap on a bigger turbo, although I want to, because, you know, the water cooler that it's got to cool the turbo and the engine down, it's not the usual way. But yeah, this is my car. I'm going to be signing out. This just a brief little run around of what I've actually managed to unlock with the OBD11. I hope you enjoy it. Like I've mentioned, it is an old YouTube channel that I've had for quite some time, but I haven't actually done anything to it. So I will be starting this up with this car. I will be doing some sort of modification to this car and hopefully make it into something a bit special, you know. But yeah, I will be signing off. This video is way too long. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy this little video. If you are interested in this type of things that I'm going to be doing to this kind of car, if you've got the exact same kind of car, you want to see what I can actually get up with, then please like, subscribe. I will be seeing you guys in the next video, doing some other stuff to the car.